The Dallas Cowboys lost in the wildcard round to the San Francisco 49ers, and the future for them now is dim. There is a high possibility both coordinators in Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn leave the team, and they have several pending key free agents, which include players like Michael Gallup and tight end Dalton Schultz. If there was a year to make a deep postseason run and to break that dreaded streak of not having been to an NFC Championship game in 27 years and to stop getting clowned on social media by outlets saying the Jags have more playoff wins since then and Nick Foles has more playoff wins since 1997 than the Cowboys himself, this was the year, and they failed for a variety of reasons and are now, as a franchise, in serious trouble. And we are going to break everything down in today's video, so without further ado, let's begin. When looking at this playoff loss, there's a lot of reasons why the Cowboys lost. It has more to do with the run at the end with 14 seconds left and not being able to get the ball clocked, and when you saw all of the 49ers defenders on the sideline, it honestly made sense for them to try a play down the middle, and Dak draw play, or whatever you would like to call that, worked. It worked too well, then the ref couldn't reset the ball, and the rest, as we know, is now history. But there were several poor coaching decisions by Mike McCarthy before that, like punting the ball inexplicably several times in the second half, and quite honestly, how the 49ers only won this game by 6 points is truly astonishing. The fake punt, then the stay on the field and waste a timeout because there was no clarity of the situation of what the players were to do if the fake punt and everything worked, and then everything else that happened after. And how Mike McCarthy still has a job after that embarrassment of a playoff performance is not only beyond me, but it is also a reason why they are in serious trouble. It should come as no surprise to anyone that McCarthy did in fact win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback once upon a time, and congratulations on doing so. That's no easy accomplishment. But when Rodgers retires, there's certainly going to be speculation or kind of a moment where people are like, wait a minute, how did he only have one Super Bowl before the age of 38? And I say that because there's a very good chance they win a Super Bowl this year. But you look at who his head coach was and what he's done in Dallas now, and you figure out pretty quickly as to why that is. And this is one of many problems the Cowboys have. Their head coach, when it's Mike McCarthy, will always limit what they can do. And as if that's not enough, some of their best production, like a cheap free agent acquisition in Jaron Kearse, a safety, is now a free agent. Dalton Schultz, who had an impressive 77 catch, 750 plus yard year, is also a free agent. Both of these guys having big years in contract years means one thing for Dallas. The price for their services has gone up, and they, especially now, will no longer be able to afford them. Now, maybe they'll franchise tag Schultz, but that is best case scenario. They probably will not extend him to a 3 or 4 year deal. I'd be shocked if they did. Had this type of collapse or unfulfilling game happened in a Super Bowl, after 2 or 3 playoff wins, which is what it would require for them to get to a Super Bowl, maybe you can convince those guys to stay and to try and run it back, but not after just how bad of a game that was for the Cowboys, especially given that it was the wild card round, and quarterback Dak Prescott, right, wrong, or indifferent, has one singular playoff win in 5 years. I'm sure both of these guys, as in Jaron and Dalton Schultz, love Dak and think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, but him making $40+ million does not help their financial situations out. And quickly on the Dak situation, you have to pay your quarterback, so I don't blame Dak for taking the money by any means, and I do think he is worth the money, but that does not help pending free agents that are currently on the Cowboys roster looking to get paid. Another constraint with this roster is the contract of running back Ezekiel Elliott. There are rumblings that Tony Pollard is better than Zeke, and the contract is not pretty. It could be justified if he was producing at the rates he was earlier in his career, but like with every back, he has slowed down, and what is bad about this for Dallas is he's not even 30. Hell, he's not even 27 years old, as he'll have his 27th birthday between now and the start of the 2022 season, and Dallas is not only trying to replace him / reduce his workload, but they have someone up and coming who is a fan favorite and a very good player in Tony Pollard. And before anyone would like to mention Zeke having another 1,000-yard year this past year, Zeke had 12 games with 52 yards or less rushing, and a couple of those games include a 16-carry 52-yard and a 16-carry 50-yard stat line. He is nowhere close to the player he was when he had entered the NFL out of Ohio State, and when you have a team like this one that is star-filled with players like CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, a future Hall of Fame lineman two future Hall of Fame linemen in Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, you need guys to not only play up to their contract, but you will need the occasional Dalton Schultz of the world who far and away outperform their contract and help the team win games. And CeeDee and Micah both fall under the outperforming their contracts, given they are on the rookie deals, but they will each soon be, and rightfully so, compensated. This next part is something Cowboys fans certainly will not want to hear, but at least hear my reasoning out when I say this. In a lot of ways, they are going to resemble the Minnesota Vikings over the past few years, and before you say things like Dak is a lot better than Kirk and anything else, like we have Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and whatever else, the NFC is loaded with talent, and the only way Dallas wins the NFC and goes to the Super Bowl is if Aaron Rodgers leaves the conference, Tom Brady retires, and, a lot of other things, like the Seahawks continue to, lack of a better word, suck like they did in 2021. The 49ers have another down year like they had in 2020, largely due to injuries, and maybe they sneak a game by the Rams. Now, the NFC East is not good, so they're going to naturally win their division, or if they are relatively healthy, should win their division, because as we know, this division has not had any repeat winners for the last 2 decades or so, but they are on paper a better team than the Giants, the Eagles, and the Washington football team. They are not better than the elites of the elites, and it showed in 2021. They put up just 9 points in Kansas City. They lost to the Cardinals at home when a lot was still very much in the play for them in Week 17, and that same Cardinals team skidded to the finish line to say the least and got smoked by the Rams in their own wildcard game with a score of 34-11. Now, honestly, I ask this. What would you say the Cowboys' most impressive win of 2021 was? A Week 2 win over a team that didn't make the playoffs in the LA Chargers? Or a Week 6 overtime win against a rookie quarterback in New England who, in their own rights, got smoked by the Bills by 30 points in their playoff game? What I mean when I say they resemble the Vikings is, sure, they'll win a game here or there like the Vikings did this year against the Packers, but then they'll lose an inexplicable game in which they should most certainly win, like in Detroit, or in Dallas's case, like losing to Denver at home by 14 points, and as we all know, that 30-16 final score looks a lot better than how that game was actually played. And my question that I ask Cowboys fans is this: how can you, with any sort of confidence, say to yourself, yeah, we're going to rattle off 3 or 4 straight wins against the best of the best and get to a Super Bowl and beat a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or whatever beast foaming at the mouth the AFC would throw at us in the big game? And the title of the video is "The Dallas Cowboys Are in Serious Trouble," and that brings us back to a point where teams never want to be, and that's stuck in the middle. In a lot of ways, they had good things happen this year. They had a defensive rookie of the year that looks like he's the future of the NFL's defensive side of the ball in Micah Parsons. They had Trayvon Diggs have 11 interceptions, and yes, he also gave up a lot of yards in the process. But for every positive, like CeeDee Lamb having an 1,100-yard year and building upon his rookie year, you can just as easily make that a negative and say, well, CeeDee did not have a 100-yard game down the stretch of the season, as his final 100-yard game of the 2021 season occurred on Halloween night. Admittedly, that specifically is nitpicking, but my point is Dallas is going to be in the worst position a franchise can possibly be in, stuck between being bad and elite. Credit to them, they are a little more towards the elite side, but their ceiling right now is winning a singular playoff game, then losing in some heartbreaking fashion, or some fashion that just does not seem fathomable. Example, Sunday with the final play coming down to respotting the football. And of course, there was a lot more than just that, but this is what I mean when I say the Cowboys are going to be the Minnesota Vikings over the next couple of years. Lose in stupid, weird ways and come up just short. and Sunday was a perfect example of that. And over the next year or two, they may win a playoff game or even two, but I'd be willing to bet anything they come up short of the end goal, which is ultimately to win a Super Bowl. The stuck in mediocrity does not apply to them because they are better than mediocre. Mediocre would imply 7-10, 8-9, and the fact of the matter is they won a division title this year, but they are stuck in just above average, and in a lot of ways that's almost worse because you can sell yourself on, man, we can hang with anybody, but in reality, the just above average does not and will not win Super Bowls. And the Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl over the next couple of years, barring any major changes. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, now is the time I ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel because it would truly mean the world. And until next time, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.